Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. We have a couple of, well, 1 day break from card reveals. There's only like 3 days left from what I can tell in the schedule, Monday through Wednesday. Theory crafting is on Thursday, so all the cards have to be out by then. Of course, we have our Duels reveal coming up on Saturday as well. So lots of stuff to cover, but today I wanted to go over a card I am just very concerned with regarding the health of Hearthstone, just how I feel like it's going to diminish a lot of the fun of the next expansion, and go over that, as well as maybe talk about a couple other cards that other people have brought up as concerns. Before we get into that though, we only have a few days left to up our giveaway for Murder at Castle Nathria of 3 mega bundles, 2 regular pre-orders. Again, all you have to do is like and comment on the video in the description below, subscribe to the channel. We have until Wednesday to get this number at least up to, if we could try 55,000, to add another mega bundle, as I'm giving another one for every 1,000 subs. Hit that sub button, make me go broke. So what card am I talking about? Well, we take a look at an old comment. This was from Aleko Goriko. He's the balance guy in charge of things at Hearthstone. This was during the last major balance patch, where we saw like one of the largest patches ever. And one of the cards that was left out that I felt should have got hit, as I felt just really toxic, polarizing, frustrating card, was Celestial Alignment. And L1 Boar's mentioned here, but I don't think that's as problematic, as it's still a pretty niche deck, mostly played at high legend and all of that. But it was mentioned that Alignment was more of a polarizing card, that it wasn't like this really meta-defining card, as they ultimately decided not to touch them at that time, because those decks were clearly underperforming across most ranks, and they're currently not many other options for players who enjoy this type of gameplay. So crazy mana cheat, like combo, non-interactive gameplay style. We're gonna get some of that with like the new Kael'thas. There's going to be some pretty crazy combos you can do with this next expansion. However, I want to point out, you take a look at the HS replay, we take a look at top 1000 legend. What's like the second highest rated deck at the moment? Celestial Druid, that runs Celestial Alignment. And if you look at Wild as well, if you take a look, latest Wild meta snapshot, the 7th best deck rated there is Togwoggle Druid, another deck, if you take a look at this deck list here, that runs Celestial Alignment as its main win condition. The card is meta defining, meta impactful in both Standard and Wild. And yes, the next expansion is going to change things up drastically. There's a good chance that maybe these decks aren't good. However, we take a look at the cards from Murder at Castle Nathria. I can't help but notice a theme. Giant minions, giant cards, 10 mana nature spell, 8 mana nature spell, a giant dragon that can get your Kazakusan going, which is already a very meta defining thing, as well as, well, this Death Rattle has anti-synergy with Alignment. But even if you take a look at the neutral cards in the set, it's like really terrifying to take a look at what could happen when you're taking a look at a card like Sire Denathrius for 1 mana coupled with a Bran. All of that. Basically what I'm getting at is Alignment is a really frustrating, toxic card to constantly face, because it ruins the game plan of the other player. Sometimes it will outright counter it, like a quest priest, right? They can't even complete their quest, and as someone who dislikes quests, dislikes priests for the most part, I still don't think that should be a fair thing, that boom, I play a card, if you can't kill me, I automatically win. And they're getting so many more tools to not lose and to basically win the game outright after doing it. And every time they unveil a big new minion, I can't help but think, oh, well, you're just gonna play this in Alignment. It's a Druid card. It's a Druid card. And I just feel like that is a problem going forward. And I don't want this to be something that they wait on. I don't want this to be like expansion day. I gotta face Alignment Druid after Alignment Druid and ruin a lot of the fun. Maybe Alignment, again, I could be wrong, but they did say it was on their radar in this thread that it was underperforming, and we could see across like at the highest ranks, even Diamond through Legend, you take a look at Celestial Druid, it's still one of the top performing decks. So I would love to see a proactive change to this card. There's one patch coming up that's going to introduce the next expansion. I really hope that Celestial Alignment is hit there. And well, how do you address the card? Myself, I had a pretty sarcastic tweet the other day of, nerfs, I'd love to see if these remain a problem after expansion launch. And ironically, I'm now asking for before expansion launch, only for the one card. But I said Naval Mine, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. I said Guff to 6 would help, basically you wouldn't be able to Cold Tooth Presto every time, but I feel like that's gonna, I don't know, that strategy might not be as applicable next expansion. Grey Siege Parrot spells you've cast cost 6 or more, so you can't keep using the Mage quest reward. This one's just for Wild, and if you look at Big Spell Mage, they don't run any 5 cost spells anyways. It would be more of an impact like on Arena, where it's like a tempo card with some 5 mana stuff. But I put alignment. Replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's until the end of turn. Obviously, they wouldn't make this change, but this is just literally Mindrender Lucia. The point I'm making, I think the card is fundamentally flawed, and I would just change it like they changed Lucia in regards of just destroying the card, because some cards are just not healthy for the game, and I feel like Celestial Alignment's one of those. I guess you could just make it 10 mana, and that would probably just make it way too slow, maybe even 9. I feel like you should do more of these Lucia changes, more of those War Song Commander changes, where you just outright change the card. It's just toxic, it feels bad. You already have Guff, you already have Ramp, you could do incredible things with Druid. Druid will be fine without Celestial Alignment, but make the 10 mana cards cost 10 mana. Make the nature spells cost mana, period. I would love to see that change. There's another consideration as well, is Lady Anacondra. She's kind of a problem when you couple it with that whole Celestial Alignment package, because she makes nature spells cost nothing, right? They cost 0. Another change you could do, I don't know if you add it on top of it or just leave her alone, is your nature spells cost 2 less, but not less than 1. This is a change they hate doing. They rarely do this. We've seen it, like Shadow Step remains the same, which, by the way, look out for Shadow Step with a lot of these Miracle decks. That could again pop up as a pretty problematic card, but so with old Kael'thas that they eventually made it cost 1, and that will kind of nip that card in the butt, and we'll see how the minion version does. I'm also pretty worried about that card, but I'm willing to let that play out. I haven't put out a tweet about the new Kael'thas, and it's ruined some of the hype for me, because I don't want to go down that road again, right? Like, the scam 0 mana stuff. But Core, the set lead, even responded to that. The expectation is this isn't nearly as good as OG Kael'thas, but I guess we know how to nerf it if it's overperforming nonetheless. Honestly, the card I'm worried most is Topier, and I said, yeah, I mean, he's gonna burn himself. He's made of shrubs and blowing fire, but turns out those are actually like rose petals. It's fauna. It'll be fine, but regardless, there are some cards I'm concerned about, but overall, I'm not calling for preemptive nerfs, except I can't stand the alignment stuff, and I would love to hear what you guys think about it. If you think alignment is a big problem, I see comments about it all the time that people just want it removed, but I know there's other cards that people have concern for. Even Ridiculous Hat, he rarely ever, I actually can't recall him asking for nerfs ever. He just wishes that Snowfall Guardian would get gutted, make it 11 mana, and I Gary, this card is egregious as well. It allows Shaman just to put tech cards up plenty and not have to run removal ever. It's super frustrating. So yeah, there's plenty of other cards, and you guys are, you can discuss it in the comments below, but for me, alignment stands out as that really terrifying card that maybe if it just replaced your hand with a copy of your opponent's, but more of just, yeah, maybe give it an Lucia treatment, change it, and I imagine if it is a problem after the expansion launches, it'll get changed quickly. I would love it if they would just do one preemptive change to this card before the next expansion. And by the way, we'll have more card reviews tomorrow, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.